Hello there, and what I have with me here today are two of the most insightful books into the film and television business, Hollywood, and with that, we've got The Last Mogul by Lou Wasserman, one of the first mega powerful talent agent moguls in Hollywood, and the other Powerhouse about CAA, the beginnings, the building, the construction, the development, and the ongoing future of CAA, the Creative Artists Agency, one of the top known talent agencies in the world, representing some of the world's top stars, most influential athletes, and many, many more musicians, all of that. So, with that, two amazing books that go over not only Hollywood's history, but really gives you insight if you want to be in Hollywood, if you want to work in film and television, really gives you some great insight into how the game is played at the highest level. And I'm going to, in this video, share three of the big ideas. One of them I just mentioned is this idea of how the game is played at the absolute highest level. So, starting with that, I mean, it's a whole different ball game that you learn from these. There's a funny thing in Hollywood is that, when we're working at the bottom, at the lowest levels, and what I mean by that is if you're an actor just starting out, if you're, and I'm not even saying like in the mailroom of a company or a janitor of a company, that's not even the bottom level. Bottom level is like, they're in there, they're in the company, they got a connection that got them in. I'm talking about like bottom level, like, hey, you had a dream, you wanted to write a story, and you put some videos on YouTube. That is like the bottom level of film and television. You're not even like in the door yet, okay? So, and then, as you start to like build a reputation, with your like first maybe talent agent, you maybe get a couple commercials or print or whatever. That's still playing fairly low. Now, I'm not like discrediting anybody who's just getting started, or maybe they're still doing small commercials or things like that. But what I really want to grasp here is this idea that at the highest level, the most influential top performers in the business, the people making tons and tons, bringing in hundreds of millions, billions of dollars of revenue to Hollywood and the film and television business, the game is played at a whole different level. Now, you probably already knew that, but to actually hear about the stories of how that happens, I mean, ultimately, here's an example. What most people at the beginning of their entertainment careers, their acting careers, and things like that, what most people are doing is they're going online, they're looking for jobs, they're maybe connecting and coming up with script ideas and looking to connect with people and, maybe build short films and things like that. And yes, that probably can help you build a career that helps you get noticed and everything. But what's happening at the highest level, they're not playing like, hopscotch. They're not holding hands and singing kumbaya and let's, make this short film. What you really get an idea of is that these people are making deals. They're making deals. They're making moves. Now, you could say like, hey, you're making, they're not like waiting for a new job or something. They're literally out there searching, putting deals together, pairing this star with that star, this company with that athlete who's going to represent them. Like, this is how they're doing it. They're not like looking for the small potatoes opportunities. And anyone could have probably guessed that, but to actually hear the stories of how it happens is truly absolutely fascinating, just to see how these deals are made. They're just played on a whole different level. And for anybody who's like looking to get their foot in the door, to not just like go online and do the typical route and, post your photos and try to join a couple groups, but to really like build a circle of people. And if you're not in the system already, then you got to build a network around you, or to seek those people. I mean, that's probably the biggest move you can do. And if you are in a system, I mean, you probably already are witnessing all of this happening right in front of you. It's absolutely amazing. But the game at the highest levels are played totally different. They know who needs to go with who, when they've got the stories and everything, and they got to put the stars together, producers and everything. These are packages of people, and not just, hey, I want to be an actor or I want to be a writer and let me write some stuff. Yes, like, if you want to do that, you have to get your foot in the door, you have to work differently, but the greatest takeaway is ultimately wherever you are in your career. I mean, if you're at the top levels, then you're probably not watching this video, but wherever you are, like figuring out how you can at least play there and maybe scale up in the future if you're not quite there. Amazing lesson there, but at the end of the day, what can you do to start forming your own deals, to start putting your people together, the people that you're working with? What can you start doing there is a powerful question. So that is like such a powerful thing to see how these deals are made within the companies. They're not, going out and searching for Joe Schmo, whatever. I mean, they might be, but what they're really looking for is who do we need to put together within that we already represent to package this multi-million-dollar film. And maybe there's like some small startup people that are getting in there and they want to like, improve, or they have a connection or something. But again, the whole playing field is totally different. And I know I keep saying that, but to really understand like just what's happening in the business, and that it's not like a small potatoes game, is just it's worth reading about. So on the next idea, charisma counts. So when you think about, there's this great story in CAA Powerhouse, and you probably already know people in Hollywood, film and television, they got charisma, they got the looks, they got the personality, they got the drive, they've got the energy, they've got all of these things together. And ultimately it counts, but when does it count? That is a hugely, hugely powerful question. And there's a great story in Powerhouse, the book Powerhouse. I mean, obviously, The Last Mogul talks about Alfred Hitchcock. It talks about Marilyn Monroe. It talks about so many other very successful stars of the golden era, the golden age of Hollywood. But what CAA does really well, I mean, there's a great story about Tom Cruise and how he connected with his talent agents. And, instantly they saw power, they saw opportunity to partner with Tom Cruise. Now, I'm not going to spoil the whole story for you, but basically, it wasn't just Tom Cruise's charisma, right? Charisma is just a piece, but what part of charisma? He had this massive desire, he had this massive drive, he had this massive want, this desire, this edge that he wanted to be in Hollywood. He wanted to not just be a small player, he wanted to be a successful star in the Hollywood system, in the film and television system. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have that drive to want to be successful, but sometimes you just got to let it shine at the right moments. And that is such a powerful story in Powerhouse. It's worth getting this book just for that story alone, this Powerhouse by CAA. Now, this is the Audible version, by the way, or the Audible version, so I listened to it on audio tape. And ultimately, on another level here, going back to not playing the same game, I mean, this whole concept of power in the business. I mean, if you want to make a ton of money, you can get into real estate, you can get into finance, you can get into solar power, you can get into technology, recruiting, all of these things. But at the end of the day, you can make a ton of money in film and television too, because of course, you can find other ways to invest your money. You can start investing in like real estate and buying up studios and stages. I mean, like, the whole Hollywood system, just massive, enormous, tons of money, financing. And then now there's entertainment tech with companies like Netflix and Amazon and all that. So it's just enormous, right? But this concept of the power game, this concept of being a powerhouse is played at a whole different level. I mean, we're talking about not just checkers, but literally chess. And here's the sad thing about this is that, or not sad, but the scary thing about if you want to be a top player in the game is you have to realize there is a power, not struggle, they're not necessarily a struggle. Maybe there are power struggles within certain businesses or certain times, like CAA talks about when it was finding new leadership through its company and its growing pains and all of that. But there are definitely times when people can literally just exercise their power. When you think about people who can influence business, like at any time, at any given time, CAA's top, I don't know, 10 to 100 talent agents can literally, I mean, basically put someone in a movie. Any movie, almost any top movie that they want. I'm making stuff up here, but here's a story example, and it's worth listening to CAA or reading this book about. But, and again, there's examples in the Last Mogul too, and things might have changed a little bit today where it's maybe not as easy to put everyone in because there's so many different people, so many ideas, so much technology involved, so many different venues, and so many considerations of career considerations. But with that said, you know, this idea of Powerhouse, right? The story of how their agents wanted to exercise their power, and they did so simply like a power move, just literally just taking the people that they were working with, that they were training with at a gym, and putting them in a movie and turning them into a star. Like, this was just something one of their founders wanted to do one day. That's how, just like that, I mean, they can make it happen. I mean, we already know that there's a lot of Hollywood film and television. I mean, everyone already knows that it's a relationship business. Nothing's a secret online anymore, especially all these conversations that happen around social media and, big stars and all of that. There's no real secret, but to hear these stories about how it's happening, who's doing what, is just absolutely phenomenal. Like, it is literally being played on a totally different scale, a totally different level. And to know that there are people with that much influence out there that can just take someone who was one day like a personal trainer, someone who was one day, one day playing chess, one day playing, just on YouTube or whatever, to get an idea of that sense of influence, and that they could just make them into like a celebrity, a star, a very well-known person who could, simply just start earning those big bucks. I mean, there might be failures along the way, but to see and hear about this happen, you can't really see it actually because it's only audio, and it's only either reading or audio, but to hear about it is a whole different story. So, the three big ideas here about how this, and when I talk about this game, I think of life overall as a game. And no matter what business you're in, playing, and you do have to, at certain times, work your way up, learn about a business. You don't want to just jump into any organization or company or business or idea without doing some research first. However, when it comes to playing the game, the game that is played, is going to be a whole different level. And I think no matter what level you are, there's a way that you can start to apply those ideas to your own life. And maybe, your big idea might not find the right person yet, or whatever, or you might just not have the right circles that you're rolling in that can help you be, oh, well, there's another book ad for you. Winning at Internet Poker for Dummies. So let me turn this back on. But anyway, so this is my Audible. Or Kindle. And basically I get some amazing books on there, but of course they want to put some ads on there. So there's a free plug for Winning at Poker for Dummies, was that book, I think. Anyway, some incredible insight into the creative artist agency, Hollywood at the highest levels, and really just getting a grasp of this idea of if you keep doing the same thing and it's not working, like I have a lot of friends that are looking to become podcasters, looking to become YouTubers, who are still, trying to get their first smaller commercials, but to realize that you have to play at a different level to reach your next level. That's some really insightful stuff. But how do you do that? There's some answers in these books. Super powerful ideas. And with that said, thank you for watching this video. I hope you get a lot out of it. I hope it was very helpful, and have a wonderful day.